What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So, Michigan State women's basketball gets a 7th seed in the NCAA Tournament in the Spokane region, facing 10th seeded Harvard. Now, Harvard, just initial looks like a tough team. Overall, we're going to jump in, just give a little kind of initial brief thought on Harvard here. But then overall for Michigan State, we're just going to look at kind of the path here for Michigan State if they want to make a run here in the tournament. So before we jump in, if you could just hit that like and subscribe button down there. We have more Michigan State basketball content on the channel, both women's side, men's side, and then we are going to be previewing and talking about the NCAA tournament on the women's side, on the men's side throughout this whole first week, throughout the tournament as a whole. But we're going to have previews and predictions for both sides of the bracket as well. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a video. So Harvard on the year, they went 11-3 in their conference, 2 games out of first place, went 24-4 though on the year, best overall record. But just 2 games behind Columbia and 1 game behind Princeton in their Ivy League conference. But on the year, they actually had some pretty good wins on the year. Beat UMass 71-58, went to Bloomington and beat Indiana 72-68, beat Boston College 78-70. Northwestern, they also went to Northwestern and beat Northwestern 75-50. Beat St. John's by 2, 54-52. 2-point loss to Princeton, obviously team that finished a game ahead of them in the Ivy Leagues here. And then looking at their matchup against Columbia, lost by 9 at home to Columbia, and then actually beat Columbia the second time at Columbia, and then beat them again in the Ivy League tournament 74-71 to secure up that automatic berth into the NCAA tournament. When you look at just their team overall, just some brief stats and overview. Harmony Turner, 23 points a game, about 5 rebounds, 3 assists, almost 3 steals a game, 37% or 36% from 3. Elena Rodriguez, another guard for them, 12 points, 4 rebounds, almost 2 steals. Really active on defense. Looks like initial thoughts here for Harvard. Sanaya Glenn Bello adds about 7 and 4 rebounds for them. Overall, don't score the ball particularly well, only about 69 points a game, about 36 rebounds a game. They do average almost 11 steals a game here. They turn it over about 12 times a game, so Michigan State, obviously an aggressive defense on the year, like to force a lot of turnovers, like to press. When you compare it to Michigan State, they turn it over about 15 times a game, though, Michigan State, so that's definitely something to watch here. I think turnovers will definitely be a factor, but Michigan State almost 80 points a game on the year. So definitely kind of conflicting styles here. 3-point percentage, only about 31%, where Michigan State's at about 34% on the year. So just initial thoughts. Rebounding as well. Last one here, as we said, 36 for them. Michigan State about 37. So similar rebounding matchups in this one, but overall, for Michigan State, this definitely looks like a tough 7-10 game. 7-10 games are always tough and are always a toss-up, so definitely going to be a tough matchup here on Saturday. Now, just looking at Michigan State's path here, should they win this 7-10 matchup, they would potentially be facing North Carolina State in the round of 32, and NC State is obviously a really good team. They're really well coached, always competing Elite 8, Final 4 every single year, have really good battles in the tournament. But when you look overall at the tournament here and you look at all the 2 seeds, this is probably the second worst matchup that Michigan State could get here. Obviously, the first one would be UConn. I think they definitely had an argument to be a 1 seed here. The only, that would definitely be the worst one. I'd probably put NC State probably the second one. You look at Duke and TCU, the other 2 seeds, they're definitely tough teams, but I definitely think would prefer either of those matchups as opposed to NC State. But that being said, I don't think this is a game or a team, should Michigan State win that first matchup, it's not like I don't think they can compete here in this second game against NC State. Should they get past that game, potential to see LSU and obviously Flau'jae Johnson, good LSU team. Florida State has a potential to get there as well, but But honestly, I think this is kind of like interesting with the way Michigan State scores the basketball, with the way they're able to defend and cause turnovers. I think if they can get past this first game and create an upset versus NC State, then I think it gets kind of interesting once you get to, should it be LSU or Florida State, whoever they would potentially face here in the Sweet 16. I think it potentially gets interesting. And then even when you look at the 4-5 in this region, good teams, and even the 13 Grand Canyon, they've had an incredible year as well. But definitely would be a tough matchup should they pull off